Welcome, welcome, welcome to Alley Top Files. Come on in and have a seat. Get your popcorn or tea or whatever you like, and join us. Today we got a special guest. I've never had him on before, but I've heard a lot about him. His name is Tommy Borum, and he's going to introduce himself in about 2 seconds. I'm going to bring him up on the stage. So come on in, everybody. I see done with Fed slops in here. I got to make you a cologne. I see everybody's in here. Renee.
Yep, we got Renee,
Yep.
Crunk, Death
Yep.
Queef, Tornado Alley's in the house, Sandy, Jules, um,
Yeah,
Crunk,
everybody's yep. Come on in,
Nicole,
guys.
Connie.
Share it, like it. And his also I will bring him up right now. So welcome, welcome. I'm going to show you his socials and all that. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, Charlie Kirk and everything.
Yep,
Whatever we want.
wherever the convo
Wherever the
takes us.
convo comes. So here we go. Tommy is in the house. Hello, hello.
Hello, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. I appreciate the invite. Thanks for having me on. Like you said, my name is Tommy Borum. I'm a comedian, a writer, a headhunter. I've got a page, allmylinks.com/America Floats. You can find all of my profiles and information there, or you can follow on X at Tommy Borum Jokes. You can find most of the content that I'll produce there as well. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's nice to meet both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, a lot of people are excited. I've just put your link right there in the chat. If everybody can see it, you can go follow him there. And you're also the same on X, right? Everywhere.
Yep.
Tommy Borum Jokes on X. Yep.
Joke.
Just add the jokes on X. That way I can get away with saying a few more things.
Right. I like I watched a couple of your streams too. I love the border that you have over your looks like a like gaming almost. It just pops out. I thought that was really interesting. Never seen it before in my life.
The OBS overlays. Well, I can put you in touch with the woman who did them.
Love
for
it.
For a few $100, I got to have a lady in the UK produce a full suite of all those things. And if I knew how to use AI better or render something on a computer, I'd probably be able to do it myself. But I guess I paid for her suite access for her own AI tool. She did it all for me and I had it in a week. So all those little borders and tools and things, I wouldn't have a clue on how to put together, but I can certainly give you the info. Thank you.
Looks great.
Yeah, we appreciate that because we were watching your stream and we were kind of admiring that.
I'm like, wow.
We're like, wow, that's such a unique and distinct look. Like it catches the eye. It makes you want to sit there and watch the stream and really take in the content. It was a really good idea. Like kudos to you for sourcing that, sir.
You're very unique.
I have to trick people to watch somehow. So.
Oh man. So, you want to start with what? Politics, Charlie Kirk. How did you get into the Charlie Kirk and that tweet? Because I'm going to bring it up in a second, or maybe I should bring it up now. Let me bring it up now, guys.
That's a good.
Well, I've always had an interest in politics. I used to do a long form audio only podcast that I called the Borum Forum, and so I interviewed people that were political and politically adjacent. A big name that I like to throw out there would be like Juanita Broderick when she was really in the news before the election of Donald Trump the first time around. She was making waves on Fox and all the other major networks for being the Clinton survivor, if we can leave it that way. And so, people like that. I had interviewed her and a few other people on this audio platform and just got super into looking at the politics of things. I had studied international relations at Michigan State University. And so I'd always had a political interest, and I'd had some liberal leaning and some more conservative and traditional upbringing. And so it kind of watching the evolution of politics throughout 2016 and into 2017, 2018, watching the midterms fall apart, being introduced slowly to what I began to learn would be QAnon posts or Q posts, all these different things leading into 2020 had my eyes, I guess, ripped wide open to not just the malfeasance on the left or the corruption on the right, but really it being a two-winged bird and it's flying against us. And so to flash forward to 2025, I had been, I think, steeped in conspiracy land for years and years. And for, I would guess, since maybe 2010 or maybe earlier, I had been watching up late clips of Alex Jones on InfoWars and other, what is it? Loose Change, the 9/11 conspiracy movie. So when I was in college and we watched the Boston Marathon bombing, I was the guy in the dorm saying, nope, I question this. I think that's an actor. I think this. So I was always the harebrained conspiracy theorist of any group, whether it was my family or my friends or, random selection of 10 off the street. I was the one who had the aluminum hat, the tinfoil hat. So in 2025, when I get off of a shift, I come home from work and I see a post from Harrison Smith, I don't really have to think too hard about a response. I see this and I'm very aware of TPUSA because when I did the Borum Forum podcast, I had an interview with a girl who was a whistleblower having worked at TPUSA and said, it's not what you think. It seems like it's all this and it's really that. And it was in 2019 that this happened. So in 2025, I see that Charlie Kirk fears for his life. He is, I suspect when I read it this way from Harrison, I think it's Charlie himself being the source to Harrison saying, hey, just go ahead and say someone close to me says this. You don't have to name names, right? Keeping an anonymous source that doesn't exist is just as good as having it be from him and not being able to say so.
Right.
Yeah.
I read this from Harrison Smith when I get home from work one day and I look at it and I think, duh, of course, right? Just reading Harrison's post, he says, I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. That's the quote.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had responded with the image on the right on the 13th of August. And a lot of people were upset and saying, was that edited? Was the date changed? No, it's just the first thing that came to mind. And it seemed obvious to me. And so I tell you the other things as prologue, because it might be helpful to know that I studied international relations and I knew all about Israel throughout college and was the guy banging the gong at home with parents who did not want to hear it about why are we giving Israel $85 million a week? And they were like, this is not what we're helping fund college for, is for you to come home and tell us these conspiracies. So, a decade after, when I see something like this, I go, of course they would. Israel has a page on Wikipedia of all of their assassinations that they claim and that they're proud of and that they're braggadocious over. So I see someone who, as Charlie was, a very public water carrier. Like you could tell he had practiced the lines. He knew what he should say. He knew rhetorically how to turn a critique into a, yeah, well, what about this? And doesn't the Bible also say this? Like he went through maybe I'm not using the word correctly, but the apologetics classes. So like that he could explain his way and make sure that he could massage it. And people could see that. I was raised in the Catholic Church, so I could see some things that I just didn't agree with on. And then others that I thought, it's not that I don't agree, it's that I think he's misrepresenting it. He would say something like Ted Cruz would, where it's like, well, don't you think you ought to bless Israel? Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. He would have essentially been saying the same things 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So I was no big fan of Charlie Kirk in the sense that I thought everything he does is gravy. That's not me. But
same here. Like I grew up Catholic as well, and me and Chris would watch so many of his debates, and I'm like, I don't like what he said. I don't agree with that, right? But there's some things that I did agree. But most of the stuff, I'm like, what is he talking about? So, but I liked all the debates that he did. For me, his memory is impeccable. But do you think that he was I don't want to say allegedly bought to say these things? Because over the course of time, and near like what, July, August, he completely flipped. Or no, maybe a year before. Now the Candace text. So a year before, he was literally saying, I'm not doing this. This is what did he say about I don't want to say the word. I have to be careful how I say it, or even show the text, because somebody else told me when they showed it, it got a strike. But anyways, Candace did a whole episode about the text messages. If you guys haven't seen it, he said, "Screw you, overseas.
Well, yeah, no, he said, I think the quote was, screw those people, or screw these people.
Yes.
And he was specifically referring to the donors, but there was a qualifier for the donors. And so that's what you're avoiding. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think that all these years, like leading up to this, do you think that he had to go with this narrative of pushing the pro overseas? He had to in order to get the donor money, in order for TPUSA to strive.
Well, it's a trade, right? Like you can't run a nonprofit and have no donations because you say what you want to say, unless that's vibing with people and it's registering, or not registering, but resonating with people.
Yeah.
And being that it's a political entity, and there is certain things that politicians want to focus on. So you are going to have to make your talking points resonate with them in order to obtain donors, right? And foreign policy dictates a lot of politics, right? So
a lot of his talking points was that identically, babe. He would always be pro.
Yeah. So
before.
So yeah, absolutely. So I guess if you're posing a question, I guess would the question be, how far back do you think Charlie was feeling the pressure?
Yeah. I think well, for me, because he was trying to find new security. I don't know why nobody's talking about this, but I think about almost a good 2 years, a year and a half. He was already wanting to leave, but not knowing how to exit that, and getting probably, like Tuckers and Candace's to help him go max on things. I think he also knew other things that we don't even know about. We'll never know.
Oh, well, I think that's a given at this point.
We'll never know. But also, I just want to say your tweet here is unbelievable.
It's unbelievably accurate.
Believable.
Like
I missed the mic. I didn't realize that they would be using the explosive mic, like the beeper strategy. I should have seen it coming. So many of these things are such low-hanging fruit, and I just miss them. But everything else, I think I've got a pretty good handle on.
You nailed it, and you got the timestamp and date and everything.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I remember seeing you on DD, got a podcast. When I saw that, I go, "Oh my goodness, he just nailed that."
Yeah. If Charlie turned heel on our friends overseas, they would have somebody shoot him at an open air event, and they would have the same idiot groiper with genetically anomalous issues there to be the Patsy fall guy. And the last sentence there, I think, really registered with me when I first seen this. Part of why you never make a deal with the devil in the first place.
So that last sentence is, I think, the most succinct way to answer your question, but I don't know that it's the best, because you're probably left wondering, like, what do you mean? I don't know that there was a point in time in which Charlie decided, I think now I need to jump. Maybe he was vocal about it. Maybe he made a point to now begin to tell people that, but I think he was I think if you look at the donors and the slant in the bias of the donors that he had at the very top, like if most of them are politically a very specific ideology, then you could think of them, as colloquially we'll say his donors were the Zionist donors. So if they all look at him and others like a gardener looks at different plants growing, and some of them are going to be fruiting plants that you want to grow, and others are weeds. I think the plant doesn't know the whole way why it's doing better. It's getting better food. The other things are getting picked at. I'm getting pruned and I'm getting supported. And then, ooh, look at me, I'm fruiting. But then when it gets plucked, it has no idea why or what it did wrong. And I think that's kind of where Charlie was finding himself.
Yeah.
He would look and say, I'm doing all the right things, and I'm getting all the right support, and I have all the right friends. And maybe I don't agree all the time with what my friends do, but friends have each other's back. And so I'm going to say what my friends want, and my friends have a lot of money. And I think at some point he knows, because wouldn't you and wouldn't I, that you're being paid to say something you no longer believe. And I don't think it starts like black and white overnight. I think it's like a steeping thing where they say,
Yeah.
Hey, we have a really obvious, simple ad read for you to do, or we have a really simple sponsorship, or I mean, frankly, if you want to go really deep into the weeds, it starts with him having been Don Jr.'s bagman.
Yeah.
And the Kirk family saying, like, our son is sharp, our son is smart. The family of the Trumps and everyone else internally is talking, and that young man is well spoken. Who was that grabbed the door for us, greeting us here? He could have a future, and they create one for him. So a foundation sprouts around him. Did the tomato plant find its way into a soiled garden, or did you build a garden, soil it, then find the right seed, put it there, and the whole while it's being fed and watered, and has no idea that you're going to harvest it. And so I think that's what happened. Now, I don't want to be like graphic and think that they were always planning to kill him, but I think they always had a gun to his back, and maybe he just eventually realized it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And his legacy, his reputation, it wasn't all of his donors giving their time, their face, their voice, their hard work on college campuses that are foreign to them. It's all him. So he thinks, like, this $200 million organization is mine to do what I want with. I've played their game for a decade. If I say no more to their money, I'll take my ball and go home. And they think of it as, we've built you for 10 or 20 million. Yeah, for $20 million a year, we've given you for a decade. We built that $200 million vehicle. You can't just drive it away. Exactly. So, like, I think the attitudes were known. Like, it was a business decision for him to say, I'm no longer going to take the Zio money, and I'm no longer going to carry the water. And I don't know when before that point he stopped believing it, because I know some of it he did believe, but then others he had his eyes open to. So, like, there was a wake-up call for Charlie personally, maybe within his own ranks, realizing his friends really are more like controllers. His wife is really more like a handler. Those things in his life seem more fake than real. He starts to have maybe more of like what am I doing here? And so why am I serving them if I'm still not free? Maybe that's the realization he has when he tells his friends, I'm no longer doing this. We're changing directions. And not telling his friends, he tells people in the media tangentially, and this is just my own theory, but my theories have been pretty doggone on so far. I think Charlie himself reaches out to Harrison Smith and says, or through an analog, but not through his own TPUSA people. Like, it wouldn't be Blake Neff. It wouldn't be Andrew Kovet on behalf of Charlie. I think it's Charlie reaching out to Harrison saying, dude, if I keep pushing it, maybe Harrison Smith reaches out to Charlie Kirk, says, I saw your post. It was great. Next time, name them. And maybe Charlie says, if I do, they'll kill me. I'm already walking a tightrope. And so Harrison says, I'm in the media. Can I publish this as an unknown source related to you? And Charlie's like, yeah, send me the post before you do. Who knows what it was? But what I'm telling you is, I think that Harrison was talking to Charlie, and Charlie told him, don't say it was me, but I'm telling you, they're going to whack me if I do anything more. And so then you saw, he goes on with Megyn Kelly. He goes on Patrick Bet-David, and he, for lack of a better, he shows his ass. Like, he goes and says, I've been to Israel. I mean, he might as well have kicked his feet up on the desk at Patrick Bet-David's office and said, I've been to Israel. How many times? 17? I've flown 45 minutes across. It's the size of New Jersey. I mean, he might as well have broken the fourth wall, looked into the camera and said, are you kidding? So, like, I think that was the point where they go, Charlie's not just like left the reservation, but like we're now he is a liability. Because what does he know that they were prepping him for, letting him see, letting him be privy to, that now he could possibly wield against them? Weaponized information. He would be a liability going out on a college campus tour. And UVU was the first stop in a long, big old tour of college campuses he was about to go visit. So people push back and they go, why not Nick Fuentes? Why not Candace Owens? Why not these people who have been known detractors from the Holy State? And it's because they don't know all the same things that Charlie was privy to. They weren't, given the golden boy treatment like Charlie has been. But now that Charlie turns, it's like they got to take him out. And so it was very clear to me that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, and none of those people are actually in the position that Charlie was.
Getting money from the donors.
Well, you can look at, like, it's a valid point what he brought up. Like, why wouldn't they be looking at a Candace Owens or a Nick Fuentes or somebody like that? And you can look at somebody like Candace, who has, at this point, a lot of followers. But Charlie had a political arm that none of these people have.
Yep.
Right. He had those deep personal connections with people that none of these other people did. Like, I'm not going to deny that Candace doesn't have reach and she doesn't have influence. The same with like Tucker Carlson, or Stu Peters or anybody else. But Charlie had what none of those people had. He had direct access to the government and the youth. And that's what made him dangerous. And that's what makes me agree with a lot of what you said, Tommy, because when you look at the future, he was educating and grooming next generations. And
do you suspect that he wasn't also himself? And I agree with everything you're saying, but I would add to it the filter, or like, hey, put this lens on it, see if this looks any different. What you just said, but with the background that we don't even see, the behind the closed doors, the behind the curtain, is that he doesn't just have the charisma that they don't all have, but that he has a team making it appear to the public as though he does, because he's the selectee, right? Like, I never met him. Had either of you met Charlie?
No.
Because everyone I've talked to has like, oh yeah, maybe I met him once or I got a photo, but like no one has known him so well that they could, tell me more about him. So I don't know him, and I've seen videos and I've seen photos, and I can see where a guy could be caught flat-footed, or where he could be very well prepared. Mm-hmm. I think there's some very advanced, and this is where I go conspiracy tinfoil hat brain mode, but hear me out. If the military does MK Ultra stuff and they haven't really stopped, but they've just dialed the dosing in perfectly, could they not hypnotize someone to perfectly ace a polygraph, which they do, or to perfectly go and give their Senate testimony and not blink? And as the people behind them also reciting the same script, as we've seen, sometimes you watch the testimony and then you watch the person behind them also saying the same words and they're unblinking. It's because that's their hypnosis partner who they practice with before they give the lying testimony. That way they don't think they're perjuring themselves. The CIA does the hypnosis before the people go in and testify. So would it be hard for Charlie to train while being under some form of light hypnosis? That way, when he goes out on college campuses, he believes that he knows everything he's talking about, but he's very magnanimous, he's very kind, he's respectful, he's all the things that Chris just said we all saw.
Yeah.
Because those are the same things you choose in a leader. And you can find them in a guy, or you can find one or two of them in a bagman and a little boy that answers the door and say, when he grows up, whose son is that? Oh, Charles Kirk's son. Oh, interesting. Robert Kirk's son, whatever it was. They can make you into the person they need you to be. And they can even find you in the Rolodex of CIA assets and intel and informants and people who are adjacent, a lady to be with. And so I think that's kind of where Erica Fransfay comes from. She's a pageant girl. She's in the intel world. I don't think it was just by happenstance that she has a meet cute twice with Charlie in Israel. I think they're both being treated like Israeli assets without either of them, or without Charlie, being any wiser to it.
Do you think that it was a planned or arranged marriage or arranged relation?
I was just going to say, I believe that their pairing was groomed and orchestrated. Yeah. I believe what we saw was professional matchmaking on a governmental level. That's what I kind of believe, because I do kind of believe that, as you were saying, Tommy, that Charlie did catch somebody's eye at a very young age. And, his father was also an astute businessman. He had business dealings with Trump.
He's the architect of Trump Tower.
Yeah. So that's kind of big. Yeah. That's kind of big. So I have no doubt that Trump probably even met Charlie when Charlie was younger. I could totally see that being possible. And somebody
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's rude. But I wanted to interject that Charlie had known the Trumps since he was a little boy.
See, there we go. Okay.
Think about this. When I'm 14 and I'm like, I want to go get a job, and I go wash boats at the marina, entrepreneur, or I go and I caddy at the at the course. What Charlie did was he traveled with the Trumps, and he was Don Jr.'s bagman. I wasn't saying that facetiously. He literally carried the bags for Don Jr. There's photos of, short little, before it's like prepubescent. So like pudgy Charlie Kirk with the luggage standing behind an even fatter somehow Don Jr. And this is before GLPs and before the professional trainers and before, as you said, CAA. That's the Creative Artists Association.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, if we think CIA for regular people, the CAA is who handles all of the Hollywood, politic, associated, adjacent people. So if you're thinking, we have this kid, he's sharp. He's not like, on screen sharp to be in Hollywood, but he's like sharp. He's mentally sharp. We're going to have him lead an organization, or we're going to build a foundation around him, or we're going to have a couple books come out under his name. We're going to have him go and be the next Ben Shapiro or the next whomever. And different countries do this. Like if you're in the UK, you think, oh, Milo Yiannopoulos or Tommy Robinson, other like cutouts who you wouldn't necessarily think are Intel assets, but you ask them one time if they've ever given an interview, and now all of a sudden you see they're an informant. So how much did Charlie know if he's handled every day by the same agents, and he doesn't think of them as like opposition? They're his team. He's like, oh, I have a team. They schedule me. They bring me things. They offer me guests for my podcast. At some point, then that's the funnel of information you're getting. Who else is going to? So one of the things I thought was interesting before Charlie died was that he said he had a team that put people's names in front of him for guests to come on his show. And I wonder who that team is. And it's the internal team he worked with. But that means he's not checking his own X account or anything else to see organically if someone says, hey, you know who you should talk to is this person. He asked if he could have Candace Owens on his own show, and the people that funnel him guests tried to make it difficult for him to do that. So it's not a far-fetched idea for me to think that like he wasn't just handled and controlled, but he knew the whole time he had been selected. And at a certain point, and I can't tell you when because it's private, but in his own head, he thought, I'm going to now go public with how I really feel. And the how I really feel part was he never liked what he was being told to say. We saw these texts that Candace released. Some of these dates were 2023, where he's saying,
leading into 2024. So I would say a year and a half. Yeah. Before.
So, I mean, it's a solid, it's at least 2 calendar years of him saying no. And I'm not. So anyways, I don't know publicly versus privately when he would have turned, but I don't think in my own heart, I could never be paid to go and say something I do not believe out on a college campus. It just couldn't be me. So I don't know when he had a change of heart. I don't know. Maybe this new tour would have been different in 2025. I suspect he had a whole new different speaking script.
I'm sorry. Have you watched one of his I know a lot of people covered it, and I sent it to people. I didn't really cover it myself. It was his one of his prove me wrong events prior. I can't remember. Oh, it was right after the election when Trump won. He told a student, do you know why I cried election night? Did you see that video clip? Have you seen it?
Is it the one where he says it's because he's not going to go to prison?
Yes. Yeah. TPUSA. Biden wanted to put TPUSA and himself in prison. Have you seen that clip? What do you think? Oh, you haven't seen it.
I know the one you're referring to. I don't know if I've seen it entirely, but it seems, even just to say that, it seems a little performative to me. Maybe you have a different take on it.
Well, I looked at it. I tried to figure out. Okay, I looked at it from this way. If he says that he was afraid to go to prison, then for me, logically, I want to know, well, why? Why were you afraid? What made you afraid, right? So I look back at...
That's a good point.
Like, why would you have that fear, right? So I look back at leading...
It's a good angle, yeah.
Well, if you're afraid, why? Like, nobody wakes up and goes down to have a bowl of Cheerios and freaks out and starts screaming because they're afraid. Like, something has to generate that feeling or emotion, right?
You never heard the phrase, who pissed in your Cheerios?
Yeah,
sometimes you'd have a reason to cry if you're looking. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But so I was wondering what would be the reason why he would fear losing the election so bad that he thought he was going to go to jail, right? And I couldn't put my finger on it until after I saw all the pardons by Trump for election fraud for that election. And then I thought, okay, Charlie's name is not listed. that Tyler Boyers was, and a bunch of other people within his entity, right? So I kind of have the feeling that I think Charlie was a decent person. However, I also believe that he believed in Trump so much that potentially and allegedly he might have turned a blind eye or just remained complicit, maybe just a blind eye, and just didn't want to know what was going on with the election practices. That is something that I could have actually have seen Charlie not really participating full on, but if something looked a little odd, I could see him turning away. That would be the only thing that, for me personally, would make that statement have a little weight. It's because I'm trying to think about what would make him that fearful, and that's the only thing I can think of is if he had a little bit of a hinting that something maybe wasn't 100% right with how the election was going, with specifically, I guess, vote counting. And there was a lot of scrutiny about that from Trump himself. So that's what I think about that. I don't know what you think about that, Hun. Or
I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna find the video because I do have it here somewhere. But
okay,
yeah, it might help to refresh and watch
yeah,
it. Just on its face, just seeing like the words and him and it just hear like the thought of it is, it seems like you would want to be saying that as a blanket statement. Like Biden is pursuing locking up Trump and he's pursuing locking up the legal team, and Charlie would be. It almost feels like, and this may be too hypercritical of me, but it seems like it's someone doing the get in there and make it about you meme, where it's like there's an election win, but Charlie's in his studio and he's overwhelmed by the moment. And so he's like, oh, thank God my future's secure. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where I go with that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can kind of see that angle too, right? I can see that angle too. Like it makes a little bit of sense.
Maybe he really did fear he was going to prison. Maybe he knew he was surrounded by a bunch of criminals.
Yes.
I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah. Like I at this point I can look at both ends of that stick and see both playing out. Like to me, it could be both. Like without knowing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I wonder if the Trump family, and I don't think of it this way, but if you wanted to pretend, if they're like the Soprano family and there's an adjacent connected family, but they're like not the family, they're just another that works in the mob, right? I think maybe that's what the Kirks are. And maybe Charlie Kirk is like, hey, I'm a made man. I'm in. I've got a role. I'm playing it. But he's not going to be like the next King, Don, if they don't allow it. And this is maybe a poor analogy or bad metaphor. It's a little late for me today, but I'm thinking he might be the guy, like you say, Chris. He's a good kid. He's a good guy, but he wasn't a guy who was born as a good kid into a good family, sees crime and pursues it and gets really good at it and leads an organization and surrounds himself with Tyler and Andrew and Blake, all guys who, if you looked at them twice, you'd go, they're greasy criminals. I don't know why Charlie would work with them. So at one point I go, Charlie can't be connected to all these criminals and not also be a little bit dirty himself and know it. But at the same time, if he's born into it and it's all he knows and he's growing up like, oh, I do want to do right. And he finds everyone around him is like counting dirty money and going, yeah, well, this is life. What do you mean? Of course we're pulling, 3 different grifts. Maybe he does kind of go, I'm not going to, I don't know. It's tough. Maybe roll the clip. I'll see if I change my mind.
Yeah. It's a clip that I kind of put together with the pastors because I'll just play it and see what I have here because I can't remember. All right, unmute it. All right, here we go.
Coverage, and I actually enjoyed your coverage. And there's a point in which Trump won Pennsylvania that you got emotional and you actually shed a tear or two. I wonder at one point, and that emotional response goes from felicity and joy of shedding tear of this liberator to actually sorrow of seeing that this is going to get to the point where it could lead to oppression. And that's where my question was.
Do you know why I cried on election night?
Because you thought it was a restoration of the Judeo-Christian values that are inherent to the Constitution.
Let me tell you why, because I think you might appreciate this as a historian. Joe Biden sent the entire federal government after Turning Point USA and me personally. They wanted me in federal prison.
Right.
We don't want that. And by the way, that's what despots do, not Donald Trump. Let me finish. And so when Donald Trump won, it was a sigh of relief that maybe I won't have to go to federal prison.
Sure.
Maybe I can actually be around my kids. Yeah. And maybe we can live in a free society.
Your birthday was on election day. On election day. You already got your gift.
know.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, all right. Quit bragging.
So then he just goes on and talks about he talks about the whole election. First of all, that first part, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
He didn't say why.
No, I guess. So again, that's part of why I think, and I had seen that clip, but that's why I think it's a little performative. Because he's arguing the other guy, and I get the guy is coming with a little bit of an aggressive, more of a passive aggressive question.
Mhm.
And Charlie asks, "Do you know why I was crying that night?"
Yeah.
And in a roundabout way, he says it's because he would be politically persecuted. That Biden is sending his DOJ, out against everyone at TPUSA, and Charlie included. Anyone can, and I guess this is the left and the right both, anyone can finger the guy first and then go find the crime. And so
he was crying too. Like I'll continue to play it if you want. How long is
there's a video of Erica running to him and they're hugging or something like that.
Yeah, I have it here. And then this is him, obviously Pastor Ron McCoy talking about it in I'll fast forward it a bit right about here. He brings up the whole thing in his sermon.
Work as though it was. But the one thing they were in charge of was obedience, and they did that. And I watched that night, and I saw them. They had everything laid out on the field, and they were exhausted, and they haven't stopped. And God rewarded them and blessed them. And this week, Charlie's going back to Washington to meet with the president because he's going to call in his markers. You're going to be at AmFest, President. You're going to come to, they're going to get home and speaking. But here's the video of what happened that night. Take a look. This is CNN, I believe. Stop it.
All right. Trump gained ground in 49 states and the District of Columbia compared to 2020. I went back through the record books. When was the last time a party gained in so many different places?
And the very first words out of his mouth at the end of this video, this is a reason why I love this man. I don't idolize him. He's not my God. He is my precious brother and friend, and I'm so proud of him. Take a look at the video. This was when Pennsylvania was declared.
I think Erica was chopping some onions or something in the break room.
No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God's grace.
It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone.
That's all I can say.
Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania.
It's done.
It's done.
It's beginning.
Brett, how are we doing at HQ? Are you still in HQ there with everybody?
Sorry,
yeah,
I
am I'm in my office. I've had the door
looking
closed.
into the camera and trying to cry. I don't see him crying.
I should see. I should see who's still here. It's a little after midnight in the Central Time Zone. I just want to say right now, it's such an honor and a privilege to be part of this team. Our team at Turning Point Action is the best assemblement.
I want you to think back to January 20th, 2021. It was 2 weeks after January 6th. So many of our friends were in federal prison. Yeah. And it was like the lowest moment.
I was there. I was right across the street when that all happened. I was right there on Constitution Ave when Biden was installed. No one was there. No crowd. Military occupation of Washington, D.C. National Guard all over the place. Fencing.
Oh my gosh. It's just like text. It's like text after text after text.
Yeah, I can't even look at my phone. I don't even want to look at my phone right now.
People are beside themselves.
I just
President Trump is about to speak. Excuse me. President-elect Donald Trump.
I want you to remember that we did not earn this. This is God's mercy on our country.
Yes.
You're on the Lord's side. He's not on yours.
NBC is saying Pennsylvania is too close to call.
So anyways.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Was that the part where he cried? I thought there was a different part.
I think he starts crying right here. I'll just fast forward it a bit.
I have to admit, I didn't really see him.
Oh, he does. He does. When it's like final.
I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier.
Remember
where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment They did not expect this. Charlie, you should have emotion. This is a moment. You totally reformed the GOP. You totally said, listen, we can't forfeit the mail-in ballot. You said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
Something's going to happen, right? And again, call it paranoia, call it just trying to be ahead of the curve. And I'm sitting in the seat right here where I saw Trump got shot. And like they tried to kill him and indict him. And it's like at every turn, I'm like, here we go. The regime is striking back, right? And it's just, you don't think you're actually going to get there because we've been programmed to just say that like powerful people get what they want, right? And yeah, he was 1 millimeter from this whole country just going into bedlam. And what if one of these trials would have went differently, right? What if Jack Smith would have rushed his cases and like a million different things, right?
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, to show emotion, there's Erica to swoop in and like smother him and then put his face down. We can't see any I've still not seen one tear. I heard the sniffling, I saw the eyes, and then he like looks to the camera and then does this a bunch. And I think, again, like if you wanted to try to look really emotionally invested in something and you're having a long day, you're not quite in it, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he really wishes he could be crying and he's just more exhausted than anything. And she swoops in, but I didn't see a tear. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be contrarian, but I just...
I'm just saying what he said. He said he cried on an election night, and that's what I'm showing you this clip.
Oh, right.
And hey, I can't see either. I even told when it was playing, I go, look at her putting the hat
in front
on
of that student, telling him, "Oh, I cried so hard, and here's why." And then you're right.
Why is she putting the hat on his head? I don't. Yeah, that was weird.
Well, they all know Erica's good at acting when it comes to emotions, or maybe not good. Maybe she's just horrible at it, but she does try to do it an awful lot. And
yeah, they say good acting is overacting, and man, is she doing that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And also, did you find like in this clip? So you didn't see any crying, right, babe? I didn't see anything. I see his hands over his face.
No, like I see
everybody cries different. Okay.
Guys in the chat, was Charlie Kirk crying? One, tell me one if he was crying. Two, if no crying.
It wouldn't make sense for them to be crying when the media calls it because they all have intel for hours earlier that tells them they won or lost.
Yeah.
That's the dumb thing for me. So like watching this, if they do have the inside scoop, and we know they do, then they can't be performing when the media calls it for going, oh, now now we're so relieved. Now we know we're not going to prison. Bitch, you knew you weren't going to prison and you knew you were going to fly the coop before you ever did that anyway. And you knew like it
1.5, Tommy, 1.5.
It wouldn't make any sense. No, I have no idea. What does 1.5 mean?
I said put one in the chat or two if he was crying. One if he was crying and two, one if he's crying, two if no crying. People are like 1.5.
Yeah, people are like, I don't know. Like, if I got to be honest, it looked like he was emotional, but I didn't see any tears. But then again, to what you said, a political drive on that is mentally, physically just draining. Like it leaves you just spent. And
yeah,
I can only imagine how he felt at the end of that run. Right. And to sort of go with what you were saying is, was he just so exhausted he couldn't? Was he just overwhelmed? Like maybe he was, or maybe he knew that he was already good and there was no reason to actually shed a tear. Like it could be either or.
So if it wasn't for Charlie, people were saying in that room there, it's all you, Charlie. It's all you. If it wasn't for Charlie, Trump wouldn't have won.
Well, that's been said an awful lot. And he did bring a massive youth vote. He did do that. And we've actually talked a little bit about that tonight, is that I believe that's what they were afraid.
Yeah.
Because afraid of when it came to Charlie the most, right? Anybody can reach a boomer or whoever, right? But Charlie had this connection with the next generations coming up. And I believe that's what they feared the most. Because you can deal with stuff right now, but if you've got millions of people that are growing up, and if Charlie would have been allowed to continue to speak, we know his rhetoric was changing. how would that have affected how the Zionists looked at what their future was going to be like in America, knowing that the next generations coming up were potentially not going to be agreeing with their current and past rhetoric.
Mhm.
So I kind of look at that as something that would have definitely scared them. Like, if I have to be honest, I think that's something definitely they were concerned with. That was on their mind. And I believe they were watching Charlie closely in the last year to year and a half of his life, because if we believe what we've been shown when it comes to pressure and ultimatums he may have been given and stuff like that, then it's reason to assume that enough pressure will force anybody out or break somebody. And we don't know how Charlie was feeling. Like, he probably, I assume he would have got to a point where this was just too uncomfortable for him to keep toting the line when he saw how things were changing geopolitically around the world. It was kept putting him in a tougher and tougher position to defend these things that he may have not have believed in fully anyways, right? If he did fully commit and fully believe, then I do not believe we would have seen the backpedaling we saw in the last year and a half of his life, which tells me either he changed as a person or he was just getting put under enough pressure to make him not want to continue the current agreement or current talking points, I guess, that he was continuing, because it was just being made a heck of a lot difficult, especially in the months leading up to his passing. Like, he's defending our Israel, our friends overseas. He's defending them. But then we have to watch their actions week by week, month by month. And it just became so hard for him to be a Christian and defend that. And I think that he was getting called out for it. And I believe that's not like a secret. I believe everybody knows that he was starting to get called out for that. And I think for him, the dynamic was really weird, because up until that point, he's being called a shill for our friends overseas. And then within the very next year, now all of a sudden, he's anti-Semitic, like 3 months later, right? And I can see that weighing on a person's soul or heart. If you have anything there, it should be messing with you if you're a normal human being.
I want to know.
I'm sure it was.
I want to know why he thought he was going to go to prison, though. What did he do? Like, what was going on there?
Well, what
did
we were
Turning Point USA do?
Well, that's the sort of thing that we were mentioned about earlier. Like, that's why I think it had to have something to do with the election itself, or to what Tommy said, it was just a little bit of,
it's doomerism from Charlie in an argument on campus where a guy is going, you were afraid of losing, and it's because, and Charlie then has to come back with something big and go to the worst case scenario. It's because they were going to put me and my organization in prison. You had an inquiry because people wanted to know where all the money was going. And it's interesting because Charlie has the same inquiry with the Doge report request. So it wasn't just that the DOJ was scratching its head at some of the money. Charlie himself, after the election was over, also wanted to do some where's the money and let's do some accounting. So I think it's a throwaway line, frankly. He's in front of a crowd and they say, why were you afraid? And he goes, you want to know why I was crying? I'll tell you why. Spotlight. And then he goes, I was going to go to prison. And like, what's the reality that that's true? Zero. And he knows it when he says it. And so that's why I think it's performative. It's like he's going to really.
Because we didn't really hear anything after that. We didn't even really hear his explanation.
No.
I don't know if anybody has a video, so email me because I haven't seen anything after that.
No, but the kid in the crowd is like wowed, and Charlie's face gets really stern and animated, and he's super passionate about that thing that he says. But like you said, where's the backup? Is that even true? Probably not.
That's true.
See, I never thought of it that way. So you got my mind like going, now.
I appreciate people.
Well, it wasn't true. He was crying on election night. We just saw the video. He wanted to be crying so that later he could remember that he was.
I thought he was emotional, but I didn't see tears. I have to say, I went to go relook just as we were doing it. I didn't see tears, but he was covering his face, so I couldn't really see it. And then she put the hat there, so no.
So he could say he was crying, because if at the very least, if there's no proof of tears, you can have you can't disprove tears.
Right.
And she knows how to fake cry. You put your hands in front of your eyes and you make the noise. So like, that's what she was there. It's so clear to me. He was lying about crying, and he's lying about why he was crying. What else is he probably maybe lying about? Charlie he says publicly he was a virgin until he was married.
That I don't believe.
Is he saying that in the way that people speak biblically? Because like, if he was never interested in women, he would forever be biblically like a virgin unless he was sodomized. So like, in the way that he and Blake and Kovet strike me as like, they're maybe into some other things that maybe you don't follow me on this thought, but I have been very public about my suspicions about Charlie Kirk and the other guys he's employed. And the reason that they all get along well and have each other's backs is in the Greek way of knowing that they would have each other's backs.
Yes.
Well,
I know what you mean.
Like Erica Kirk has all these posts on her Instagram about how she's a lesbian.
Yes.
I don't know how you turn that off. Do you stop drinking the tequila that makes you freak out? Like she says something like, I swim in this tequila like a gay fish or something like that. I don't understand it. But
fish
so
fillet.
she said,
yeah,
exactly. She's way into the fish when she's gay. And so I don't understand that. I don't understand how a human being turns that off. I get if girls are drunk and they kiss each other at a college party, but that's not the same thing as having a romantic and physically whatever animus relationship with a model or a former softball player or whomever else. So when Charlie has a few there's some ways that the camera has caught him where he has like a little look in his eye. And I go, I've seen that look. And it was on that one kid we all avoided on the swim team. And we later were confirmed on our suspicion. And I just think that like Andrew Kovet has that weird lispy look where Andrew Kovet posted an Instagram video where he's like, guys, I also have some questions. And it's like, I know why his wife left him. So can we just for a moment set aside? Yeah, I don't know. I think they're all a little bit Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in a bunch of them there. Easy to kind of see it. For example, Mikey McCoy, the hips don't lie when that guy dances. That's for sure.
Oh no!
So are these all arranged marriages? Are these all arranged marriages for convenience?
Lavender marriage, arranged marriage. If you're the bag man for the Donald Trumpster Jr. and they're going to build an organization around you, and it's going to be that you're because they want you to. It's not just. It's Chris said it earlier. Charlie had like the way of leading the youth in the future, and they would be the voting bloc in America. But that's by design. They put him there as the young, white, somewhat middle class, but affluent, secretly affluent, but appearing middle class, traditional, conservative Christian. He has to fit those boxes to then pull them. So he can't be like a guy who smirks and has like a weird, greasy, grin with his teeth a little bit too much gums. And he doesn't. So put him through the finishing school, put him through the MK Ultra CIA, hypnotic school, put him through, make him look a little, clean him up, put him in the gym, have him a nicer haircut, clean. And so then they have him look the way he does on the college campuses so he can make that face towards that kid in that video where he says, I was crying because I was going to go to prison. As I said before, there's a couple different ways that cameras have caught him in his earlier days where it just looks like there's something else there. And so I think Charlie hid it very well and had help. And they did that by design. And part of that maybe is the blackmail. Like he's not going to squirm too much in that hot seat because they hold stuff over him, just like they held it over Blake Neff, just like they hold some things over some other people. I don't know. And maybe I'm totally off base to say that. But
well, all of these, their preferences is what they like, what they dislike. I don't care. I'm with Coach Colin on this. I don't really believe that he was a virgin. That's just my thoughts, guys. And maybe he was. But Erica lied about all the boyfriends that she had, right? Man. Like,
there's a trail. There's a trail.
Imagine
of dudes
if you were
her.
a man and you said those things.
Are those all gay dudes though? Seriously, are those guys who said they were in relationships with Erica Kirk publicly, dudes who were also in LA trying to be actors who needed a straight, unpublic girlfriend? Because remember, privately, she was still with chicks. So publicly, she's like, I am posing with this man in a photo. And like the Stepford Wives, they all know they're just playing a role. I wonder about the kids. We've never seen photos of the kids. The kids' faces don't exist. The kids' names don't always exist. Sometimes they change the dates of the births. Definitely change. Erica doesn't know when her own kids were born. to me, it strikes me like, okay, CAA, Creative Artists, whatever association, they come up with the script and they say, well, it looks good if by how many years in you have some kids. Okay, so we announce we have the scripting and we pull up the file of the family, and it's like the whole history of the fake family. And they see, okay, we have a date for the birth, we have a date for this. And short answer on this one is I think those kids, whether it's a Thanksgiving photograph or the video of them at the bowling alley, it's like, hey, we're shooting a commercial. We need to have a child that we're holding. We're just going to see the back of the head. So it's like a roll call kid. They say we need a child, girl, brunette, age 5. We need boy, brunette or sandy blonde hair, age 2, 3. And they need to, be this height, weight, and they need to be this race. And then the Hollywood goes and finds them. And they're the stand-in kids that would be, swapped in and out at a commercial break in a sitcom or whatever else. And these kids, we've never seen faces. Erica tries to have here's my alibi for where I was during my fake travel when I was preempting Charlie's murder by already being in the air. She shows, here's a picture of my kids. And then months later, they have to admit, oh yeah, one of those we're going to claim is her kid. The other one was some other guy's kid, but that's the alibi because people put it together that the ages didn't make sense. So when people go, wait, you're telling me that you think their relationship was fake, but they have kids. What are they, IVF? I go, no. Where are the kids? Do the kids exist? Are the kids on paper, scripted names? And when they say we need a photo, we go and hire the actor to stand in and get a photo. And at some point, the Pentagon, right, says, hey, this is a national security matter because these people have millions of dollars in influence and in control. And if Charlie points his finger this way, millions of voters go that way. His children eventually think of those roles as being super sought after. So now if you're in politics, you're a senator, you're connected, you're a billionaire, you have a family member you'd like to get into politics and connected. You don't want them associated with your family because it's dirty business if you're seen to be doing, trades with one another. So maybe you're a Rothschild. You now have a nephew. He just got a job, and in 18 years, he'll be 21-year-old Charlie Kirk's son. Where's a photo of that kid to ever have existed?
Yeah.
In the future,
we did a whole live stream on that. We don't have birth pictures. We don't have pregnancy
in the
pictures.
future, those two kids have to exist somewhere. They can't just fall off the face of the earth. There can't be like a documentary where they go, we tried to find out where those kids ended up in life, but they just went missing. Like, so that
They're
can't
just
happen.
gonna die in a helicopter crash or something. Oh, I don't
With
mean
Erica.
that. Sorry, guys.
So it'll be Erica and her children were attacked and on the freeway, and a car accident led to a fiery crash, and they'll do a Princess Diana thing.
Yes.
And it'll be her with the children.
You heard it here first, guys.
And so the children will be done away with. The memory will be open and shut. They'll never have to be cast, right? You'll never have to get an actor cast as Charlie Kirk's son to play that kid forever after and be like a little Kennedy cutout. You'll never have to do it because you'll write Erica out of the script with the kids, and it'll all be a nice tied up in a bow, loose ends, done.
Yeah. And you want to know what's weird that you're saying that is I've already been saying that Erica is basically the scapegoat to take all the heat of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. She's taking all the heat right now. Let's be real. She's taking all of it. Now, that's also not favorable for Turning Point. They're losing money. They're losing donors. So they need an out, right? They need an out right now. Their company's suffering. They just lost their spokesman, the face of the company. The replacement isn't doing well. They need an out. They need a fix. I hate to say it, but that is a good fix. Nobody would be able to say crap about that, right? What are you going to say? Who are you going to attack now? What are you going to say now, right? That's a great fix. That's a plus for the company. It, like you just said, that leaves everything tied up in a nice, neat little bow. And then all the people that were involved, majorly the victim and the main target of a lot of the questions about what happened to Charlie are gone. You can't even talk about the kids. They're gone. Everything's
We
gone.
don't want anybody to die, guys. We're just hypothetically.
Yeah, we're not, by the way,
talking.
chat, we are not wishing death upon anybody. This is just a hypothetical what if and analyzing the current situation of Erica, Turning Point, and the people that are in her orbit. We are not wishing ill on anybody.
I don't want anybody to be gone. Okay, just saying that.
Oh, it's good to say. Good to say. A little quick disclaimer and
but I want to show What else do I got? Hold on a second here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a yapper. I know we killed an hour.
Oh,
there
we
really
both,
quick.
yeah.
Oh no, dude, don't even worry about it. Like when we bring people on our show, we don't want to sit here and talk your ear off. We want to give you a platform so you can explain who you are, what you think, and we really
Yeah.
want to get to know you.
Open
Like,
dialogue.
yeah, like our chat, they know us.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't know how well they know you, and we want to introduce you to them. We want them to hear your thoughts, your philosophies, your theories. So don't worry about talking.
I will tell you this too. Since you just passed the post that I'd put on X, that most people has. I mean, if they're related to the Charlie Kirk thing at all, at some point they'll have seen that post. One of the other things that I would direct people to on my profile at Tommy Borum Jokes on X is I published, and it could be updated now. It probably needs to be. Back in December, I published just my quick thoughts on like the best overview of a Patsy theory that I had. And with the information that we had at the time, with the neighbors' statements about out-of-state cars with foreign plates coming and picking something up from Robinson's house in the 2 weeks leading up to the event, and some other details and things, I think it stands the test of time. Because I'm saying that for the chat. If they wanted to go and look at that later, it's posted on my X. It's one of the, I think it's an article. So if it's published under my 2 articles that I have up there. And one of them is the Patsy theory that makes the most sense. And essentially, it's just that I think Robinson was, I lay it out pretty clearly, but I think they had him like Simba in the gorge, right place, wrong time, directed to be here. Oh, I'll just, like a little bunny just being played along the whole way, and was meant to be picked off, and instead kind of turned himself in, and he kind of foobarred the thing for them. So that's the other one point on the Charlie Kirk thing I'd point people to on my X profile.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's
explaining
awesome.
that, Tommy. And chat, please feel free to go do some doom scrolling on Tommy's page and check out some of these articles and some of his posts.
I also
feel free
think-
and please do.
I'll put your X in the chat here. I also think that Lance Twigs is a backup.
Yeah, that's also our theory.
You got Andrew Kovet just going off. You should go to Turkey Tom's site and just go check out all the Lance Twigs stuff. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a shot across the bow. Andrew Kovet's feeling the heat himself, so he's like, "Hey, why don't you go look over there at these guys?" And he's pointing the finger at all the wrong,
Well, and this is the thing.
You said it, yeah.
That's crazy, Tommy. That's utterly crazy. So, like, when you figure, like, basically their whole case hinges on Lance, and then Kovet points everybody to videos that basically make Lance the most uncredible witness that you could ever have in a political assassination. That blows my mind. And the way Allie and I looked at that when we caught that, he's the backup Patsy. So if stuff falls down with Tyler, right, say it crumbles, they get to go, well, maybe it was actually this guy. Here's the evidence we have. We believe that they've been keeping Lance hidden for the last whole bunch of months is to take him in a detox. Because if you look at what was written or said in those Turkey Tom videos, he had problems with drug abuse, alcohol abuse. He was popping regular medication. He was just out of it. He was staying up all weird hours of the night. The kid was pretty spun. He was literally making like, a blanket bed in the living room. The roommates were having problems dealing with him. He was erratic. He was emotional. So when you think of all that, that destroys his credibility as a witness. So why would they point them to that is mind blowing.
I think all the drawings too are all made up. And shit.
We also think the drawings are staged.
You got 9 months, and you got Andrew Kovet now speaking out and telling you to go watch Turkey Tom. And
he says at the beginning of his video, he says, we've been taking so many attacks and accusations. He goes against Erica and then myself. It's always her first. They're always first to protect her because I think she, like you said, is she's getting the brunt of it. And I don't think it's like in the way that people like to think. It's like she's now feeling the same pressure as Charlie was, but she's not equipped to try to send the same messages.
No way.
Kovet is now he's like putting his own individual flare signals up. Like he knows TPUSA is circling the drain. He can't save the credibility of the case anymore. He's now just trying to save Andrew Kovet. So he's on his own Instagram saying, people are accusing us, and between Erica and me, we've got questions. And now it looks absurd.
It does. You had 9 months to say this shit.
Well, yeah, and it just reeks of desperation, right? And it's like what you said is like, if you're a smart enough person and you've been there from the ground up building that company, you know when it's not rising anymore, and you can tell when it's starting to melt. And I kind of agree. I think the people that have been there, people like Kovet and Neff and Boyer and people like that, they know what's really going down, and it almost looks like they're looking for a life preserver.
In the 11 months that it will be since Charlie was killed, they have just been looting the palace.
Yep.
And now these guys are running out, weighed down with their gold bars, and they're yelling that we should run back in and see what we can help. We can still help. And I think Andrew Kovet's given up the charade, and now he's just making for the door. That's what this looks like to me. They made a ton of money with the t-shirt sales. They cheapened all the products and bought off knockoff crap from China and sold it, and they made a fortune. I think all of that was teed up beforehand, right? Like none of these things just get done snap of the finger. Charlie's killed, and all of a sudden he has an entire page after page after page of new merch that just gets launched.
Yes.
And they actually had it all like manufactured and ready to go, because by the time they got to the memorial, what did she brag? Was it just 50,000 hats alone? Or was that shirts? I forgot whether it was hats or shirts, but it doesn't really matter, right? They had all those hats, all those shirts, all these things ready to go on his death.
Think volume, think logistics, think the actual physical material of how do you actually make that happen in that short of time? Unless, as I've said, you have guys behind the scenes, you have guys behind the curtain who are what we would call the intel agencies, who are the magic guys. Like, Disney says like they're where the magic happens. You don't see it, but people are working all behind the scenes to make the experience. Our lives are no different. And Charlie Kirk was like put on a pedestal, curated, so that we would all see from all the different and perfectly picked perspectives of how he was a leader, and he was a great orator, and he was articulate, and he believed the right things, and he said the right things the right way. And I think he got ahead of his own, and they said, no, that's not what we created you for. That's not what we gave you this position for. We didn't make you Charlie Kirk, a household name, so that you could then go and spout off your own thoughts. And maybe he should have known better. Like all of their other assets know better. The Hollywood people, they all know better than to get out over their skis. They all do the little kumbaya videos and do the compilations together, and they do the humiliation rituals, and they embarrass themselves together.
Somebody asked a question
and then they know
here.
they're above.
Tommy, do you think it was fake but went bad?
Does Tommy think it was going to be fake?
Like his death, I guess. That's what
No.
I mean.
No. I think they planned to kill him and did. And I think that prior to them doing that, I think they probably made the decision to kill him in April or May. And by June had the ball rolling and had plans in motion for how they were going to based on their schedule. I think with what we know about how they made the device and where the device came from, all those things kind of align with that timeline. So I think Charlie then feels the screws have already now turned, right? In June and July, he's already being very vocal and anti them and screw these people and these things. So I think he's already feeling a switch just got flipped. Like someone made a decision, and I know my time is running out. And he was telling people this. If I'm vocal, they're gonna turn. So I think the decision was made. And I think up until that point, they had maybe a series of different scenarios. Like, how could we get them? And when they back into the UVU location and that date, they then have to build the cover story for what they're going to do. Right? Like, so Allie, if we know he's going to be, performing in October and all these dates, and then September and all these dates, and then August, these dates, and we pick, okay, the first event is September 10th. So that's our date. We know we're going to do him then. Now we need to look and see, okay, where is that? Let's get a location. Okay, we pull up the people locally. They pull a file on UVU. They pull a file on Borum. They look at all their CIA assets, who's there, get in touch, call a meeting. Yeah. They start coordinating. And so they'll determine then maybe Lance Twigs is already done with his informant internship previous summers. Maybe he was a scout that went into some other thing, and his uncle is so-and-so, and That's not public information, so we wouldn't know that.
Nope.
But maybe, I don't know that Lance Twigs is even a real name. It seems like a pseudonym that you would choose if you were going to be a plant and pretend to be a furry gay guy on a college campus to lure someone who would be a perfect Patsy, a perfect Tyler Robinson. I don't think Lance Twigs is a real name. So I think they flip through the Rolodex. Intel says, here's our target. We've deduced with AI and Israeli, whatever other tools for Intel, we've determined this Tyler Robinson and one other kid on UVU's campus or on this other college campus would be a good target. If we can convince them by this date, we've got it. Maybe it's not as easy as that, but they flip through the FBI crawler. It's constantly crawling the internet, and it's looking at all the different 4chan and 8kun and all the different forums, and they're looking and seeing who's edgelording the most. Who on Discord has said kill Charlie Kirk in those words with nothing else. And so they can pull up a file and they'll see maybe they have some overlap. Maybe they have a Tyler Robinson popping up, or they have Lance Twigs popping up because they put him there to say those things and to entrap Tyler. I think in the weeks leading up to Charlie Kirk's death, they had Tyler Robinson's gun already separated from him. I think they had his little screwdriver already taken out of his garage. I think they had a towel covered in his DNA already gone missing from the floor of his room, and he probably wasn't wise to any of those things gone missing. I think when he then is told, be here, be there, hey, meet me at this place at this time, he might not be aware at all that there's a plan to kill Charlie Kirk, but they are making sure they see him on a closed circuit television right there. He's seen in a stairwell. There, he's checking his phone. But, on the day of, he might just be looking for his friend because they're going to go and hoot and holler and protest. Yeah. But he may not be any wiser to the fact that they have his gun. They have fake messages from him. They have all this fake motive built up that's actually from Lance, but they're going to misappropriate it and say all these things that Lance did, Tyler did. So then we look at the kid on campus running around.
When we start to go, when you say like from May to well, it is quite an operation. And
well, that makes sense. Like they gotta. There has to be a process, and they have their own timeline set. Once they pick, a location, now they've got to move their assets. They got to get things organized, right? Making the plan, it was probably the easiest part of it. Yeah. Like I believe, like if this is how it exactly went down, then I believe what Tommy was saying, the most difficult part of this would be then organizing your Patsy and your cover up. That's always the most difficult part of something like this, right? To make it believable of the BS you're selling the world, right?
So the fewer details, the better. If they just have a grainy picture of a guy flopping off the roof, you don't have to know if it's Lance or Tyler. They have prints from the guy falling where he touches the glass and then pushes off and keeps running. They measure that they check the prints, but they're not Tyler Robinson's prints. They took a DNA sample from Lance Twigs to do an elimination sample. Did they get his fingerprints and his hand and his palm print too? Because my suspicion is the guy falling from the roof isn't Tyler Robinson, but it's Lance Twigs. And he's there to make sure he's putting all the different pieces in place, a rifle, a screwdriver, whomever else, but it's not Robinson. It's just so that they can point the finger at Robinson. I think Robinson figured it out before he got shot and then turned himself over to keep himself alive. That's my, in a theory in a nutshell. I know I've been talking too much, but that's what I think.
No such thing. And we definitely believe that Tyler turned himself to keep himself alive too. People don't realize that, a lot of people say if he's innocent, then why didn't he run or this or that? Well, that's exactly what we think they were hoping for. So then they could gun him down and go, oh, we've got the Charlie Kirk's assassin dead in a shootout running. And, that's what I think they were hoping for. But I think the monkey wrench was him turning himself in. And then they had to all of a sudden come up with a narrative to support that, which is what I believe we've been told. The dad recognized him and talked with the priest who's a family friend. And then he confessed in a teary, moment. I don't believe any of that.
We didn't have that. We don't have that confession.
Yeah, the police locally said they did not know the identity of the suspect. So how were the police through a retired cop, family friend, calling the parents saying they have the name of your son and they're going to find him. So you need to help him turn himself over or he's going to die. Because that was the call that his parents got. So how is it that the cops call the parents to tip them off? Because they're friends. They're going to have a courtesy call to mom and dad if the cops don't know the name of the kid yet. They said they only ID'd him when he turned himself in. But then how are they calling the mom and dad to tell them your kid's going to get shot?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Someone called those parents and made a miracle call and ruined this entire thing for them, for the feds. I've never seen this post before from Boyer, but that is interesting. Man, is that an admission on accident? All of our people are from the military.
I got it. Yeah, I got that.
That's something. All of our people are from the military. That's interesting. It kind of proves my point that like this whole thing was a Truman Show. He was aware of it. Charlie knew, but at a certain point he thought, I'm the made man now. I'm running my own show. I'm Charlie Kirk, GD it. And, I think they were like,
and like you said, we run everything like a military op. All of our people are from that background. And yeah, I've looked at a lot of the TPUSA people that work there, and a lot of them have that background. Even like field operation girl, she has a military background. I mean, just people that you don't even know, I've never heard of.
And it actually extends right into TPUSA faith. A lot of their pastors have military backgrounds as well, and
strange.
And a bunch of them have psychological training. What the heck do you need that for if you're preaching the word of Jesus?
Yeah,
because you're really just doing the hypnotic thing. They're not really preaching the word of Jesus. They're preaching the word of what the Jews want you to think Jesus said.
Exactly. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
One of your chatters said that Mikey McCoy, Rob McCoy's son, was a Romanian. Is he Romanian? Was he purchased? Was Mikey McCoy adopted?
I don't know. I don't think
Rob McCoy
adopt Mikey. No, he did adopt a Romanian girl. I think she's Russian. Don't quote me on this. I know he has an adoptive daughter.
I wouldn't trust him adopting or trafficking any kid.
Yeah, he did adopt a daughter.
And it is from that part of the world. Darn it, I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Romanian, Ukrainian, Russian, something
it's
from
one of those. It's either Russia or Romania. I believe. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on that. But Rob McCoy did adopt a daughter, not Mikey McCoy, guys. Yeah, no, Mikey not adopted. Right.
Yeah, D
not
knows.
Mikey. Yeah. Thank you, D.
D's a pretty clever boy. He knows that kind of stuff.
No, not Mikey McCoy. It's a girl. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Natasha. Thank you.
That's
Russia.
it.
There you go.
Thank you, Kronk.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, like that was very weird. And like that comes out, and he's not the only one who's adopting young girls. Didn't Boyer do the same?
For a little bit. He adopted her for that short period of time until she got a home.
So he adopted her,
he didn't want to keep it.
But is that the same thing as like buying an eclair from a donut store, taking
a bite and being like, I don't want it?
Well, I was going to say just lick the cream filling out and then trying to return it. Like, is that what happened there? Like, that's just like.
And he speaks Russian.
And then she went home with her Costanza house. The guy who eats the eclair out of the garbage.
Oh my goodness. I don't understand. I think this goes on to a bigger level than we don't even know.
I think all those people are trafficking. The France Faye trafficking background in the whole Angels situation. And then you look at McCoy and you start to just think like, okay, Victor Marx.
Oh, man.
His story, he thought he was telling like a cool story about killing a man on a podcast. And now in hindsight, you're like, I think all these people surrounding Charlie Kirk were mercs and were wet work for the CIA and, psychological trafficking operations, all the dark stuff that we say we're opposed to. They're going to pick those people and make them your poster boy for Christianity in America.
What do I have here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen this. This was a while back too. I'm not going to say the word, but it's there. You guys can read it.
Tyler Boyer cover up of by prominent. Nope, haven't seen that.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah.
So Tyler Boyer assaulted a young man? Is what that appears to be?
Yeah.
That guy came out. Yeah.
Yeah, he came out saying so, that gentleman. So I don't know.
He tried to cover it up.
Now, I will say this. If you are the operations guy of a big Christian company, right? If you are Boyer and you are leading TPUSA and it's 2021 and a guy, look at it literally. Oh, it's 2025. Okay. Well, so if Boyer has a reputation to maintain, even if he doesn't do anything wrong, and a young guy who is maybe fighting his worst demons is working at TPUSA and feels slighted in some way, a way to come at your boss and make him look like a fool would be to quit and come out and say he assaulted you. Because, like, if Tyler Boyer was a straight man, I don't believe it, but if he were, the worst attack you could level at him was that not only is he a rapist, but he's a closeted gay rapist at the Christian thing. So I can see how that would be a great vector of attack.
Yeah, like if you were just trying to destroy somebody's credibility or reputation, that's kind of I don't know if we could use the word classic way to do that, but just quit and then rage bait back with an accusation. Absolutely, that's a perfect way to do it. Do I believe Tyler is straight? No.
That's why I'm not. I say this. I preface all that to say I don't think he's straight, but that would be a great vector of attack on a straight guy.
I don't know if we got it right or wrong, but I think this source. Okay, let me look at it. I can't say the words on here, but okay. I think he tried to cover it up. So this guy came out, this Matthew Martinez. So Tyler Boyer covered up an SA by a TPUSA employee, Matthew Martinez, including a victim statement and police report. TPUSA denies this, stating a proper investigation occurred. Boyer calls it false, mentioning a cease and desist. But I found only general legal threats, not specifics. Okay, so I think this is
I understand. It's
him coming out. It's not Tyler Boyer.
Tyler didn't assault anyone. He was the person who managed the cover up, supposedly.
That's it.
If anyone is accused under you and you don't immediately go and tell the New York Times that they're guilty, someone will eventually accuse you of having covered it up, because your job is to manage, compartmentalize, do all things right by the victim as well as the person who's being accused, because maybe they didn't do it. So you're not going to go and air it out. You're not going to fire them. You're going to do your full investigation. And then, if the person says, wow, they covered it up, maybe they did. I mean, I'm not defending Boyer at all, but I understand how everyone has a perspective and they want to look at it and throw blame. I would just look at that and say, of course, they're all skeezy. They're all slime bags. Look at them now trying to cover up the assassination of their buddy.
There was other because I did this way early on in October. There was other events where they rented hotel and people got plastered like after events. So you're like at a college
after parties.
You were at a college campus. What do you think happens, Tommy?
Yeah.
Afterwards, that's what the kids talking. Are you going back to the hotel? I'm going back to the hotel. Like they all go, and something happened, and there was an article written, and he tried to cover up that too, but it did happen. There was girls, there was guys, they were blacked out. Somebody got, touched.
Yep.
And that was another article. I found so many different things after the events. And I have like videos of them partying. I'm like, what is this? Is this actual, prove me wrong and then go back to hotels? I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk was a part of that. I'm talking about the after, because all the kids go to the and where is the TPUSA going? I gotta go too. These are college kids.
Why is Tyler Boyer and Andrew Kovet so excited to have 2,000 of TPUSA's young men leaders visiting this summer at the week away camp with no phones, no computers, no family, no friends, just 2,000 young men out on a ranch together with Andrew Kovet and Tyler Boyer?
They're gonna get poured into.
No, thank you.
And probably more than one way.
Listen, Erica said it. Like she's doing the men's Invictus.
Yeah,
that's in California at the ranch. And all the men are coming.
Yeah.
She said they're going to be poured into morning, noon, and night briefly. Then you can go to do some archery, some canoeing.
Some horse
get poured into in the night.
Yeah,
so lame. Unbelievable.
She said it, I swear. It's bizarre.
How much you want to bet after 15 minutes of being there, all the guys there run down to the nearest river and go, we need to be rebaptized.
I'm going to go show a couple more clips here. Obviously, I think everybody's seen this. Mr. Blake Neff didn't change and edit his post. He said this down here about Candace. Actually, freaking rude, bizarre. And I don't think he deleted it either.
Yeah, did you see that, Tom?
I was disappointed that I didn't come up with conspiracy slop first, because that's just hilarious. Like when you saw those women saying, you can't say good morning because it's reminiscent of when slave masters would kill a slave, and then in the morning we were still crying, so they would say good morning. Did you see this TikTok a couple of years ago? It was super viral. When the hood comes up with their own conspiracies, that's a conspiracy theory. But no, like there was one that went super viral. A woman said you can't say good morning anymore because it was to rub the salt in the wound to the slaves who were still crying about one of their dead fallen kin who you killed yesterday. I'm serious. So that would be a real conspiracy theory. What Candace is doing is actual investigative journalism, and they should be ashamed to even try to embarrass her for it.
Yeah.
I think they're falling apart right in front of our. So this.
Oh, that's cute.
I love this. Let's lead into this. So, okay, the next video, guys, I'm going to show you is with Tommy with a blue jay, and tell us the story about this blue jay, please.
Yeah, I was walking my dog outside. We found a little bird on the ground. It had a bunch of like pine sap in its little hands, and it was a fledgling. It had just fallen out of a nest, and it was not going to survive if I didn't clean its little fingers off and rehabilitate it. So for a few weeks, I've been rehabbing a bird on my patio, and it's learned some new tricks.
It melted my heart. You guys got to go. I'm just going to show you one clip, but he's posted several videos. You said one time it went onto your head, or
yeah, it's every day. I've got a post that quotes the last, and it's just a little bird clip, and it's typically the bird just flying to me on command.
It's a
riot. The bird's a real. I mean, it's got a real personality. It's been swooping me lately and hanging out in a tree outside. It's doing its whole. It eats dog food, and it's like the nice stuff too. It eats the canned wet food. I have to portion it out and ration it.
Did you name him?
No, I just call it the bird. I say, "Come here, bird," and it comes over. It's pretty impressive. Good morning.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. And
there's probably a dozen or so videos on my X profile of that.
Yeah, you
just
guys
one after the other of him or her. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy yet, but it's learning how to fly every day. It's getting better. Yeah, and Fern's mom is right. It is definitely bonded to me. It's imprinted on me for sure. It looks up at me and does its little flutter flap and so I have to feed into its mouth every day. It's insane.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I'm sorry, but I love birds. Everybody in my chat knows. Go put bird emojis. You guys know I love birds. So
yeah, I used to have chickens, and so I like hanging out with it. It's a good bird.
He actually rubs his beak on you, like on your wrist.
Oh, it'll jump up on my shoulder and it'll fluff up and then purr and settle in and try to nuzzle in. It was trying to do that tonight at about 8:30, but when it was sun's starting to go down, so I had to kind of up into the tree you go.
So does it fly away and come back, or?
Oh yeah. And in the morning, sun up, about 20 minutes after sun up, it'll be right there at the window, just going.
You guys got to go check out his page. I think I put it in the chat there. I'll put it up again. Hold on.
Yeah, I was saying the blue jays I've learned are a member of the corvid family. So like a crow or the magpies or other smart birds, it will learn your face. And another cool thing about corvids, and this is also why I'm like, I really got to make sure I watch my ass with this bird. They will learn your face, and it will pass on epigenetically to its offspring, and it will communicate to the other birds in the area that face, you are a familiar, a good person, etc. And so years away, years down the road, different locations, etc., those other birds will recognize you and know your face as being a good person versus a foe. I learned this, and so I'm like, well, I'm going to be nice to every crow I see. And then a week later, I see a blue jay, and I'm like, well, I got a project.
Wow.
That is crazy. I did not know they have
Crows are very
like
bright.
a genetic marker that they can pass down. That is absolutely mind blowing. I did not know that.
Hence the
They
reason
can also they can
Barron
be
has a
taught
crow
to
in
pick up
his
dollar bills.
Barron loves crows.
Oh, does he?
Bright. Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
bright. Crows are very,
Birds of a
very
feather.
smart. But
High IQ outfits these birds are attracted to.
there you go. I mean, I don't know. I just love that. I've never had a bird just, So I'm jealous, actually. I'm jealous of you. What's going on here, Desiree? We got Tommy Borum in the house.
And he found a bird on his property. He's been nursing it back to health.
Yeah.
We've had a whole bunch of political conversation and Charlie Kirk conversation up until this point. But
you got to rewind.
Yep. But this cute little guy is
And the
bird. This cute little guy here and this fuzzy little bird have been becoming friends.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a good time. There's a whole bunch of videos over on the page.
Good morning.
So, oh man.
So cute.
I don't want to show you all of them. I want you to go to his page and go check them because it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling down to one because here I think is it this one? Here, I've got this one here. I gotta show you. I'll send you this link. Oh, that's not it. It's this next one here. Hold on. I'm gonna find the one that
I'll just bring up the
just
page.
jumped right onto my head.
Why don't I just do that?
Just bring up
I'll
this
just
page.
go. I'm
gonna
if you guys
send
want me,
this
if you guys want
link
me to.
to the
Oh, he's sending
there
a link
chat?
now. He's sending a link. I don't think you got to dig for it. He's sending you a link.
Don't have
on
to
it.
share the screen to do it.
There it is. I'm gonna drop a
Oh,
link.
maybe.
into
I gotta
the-
share the screen.
There in your StreamYard is a link.
Is that your X page?
It's the post that I was gonna show you, but jumping right into my head.
Let me just go to your post. Like, where would it be on here if I go down?
Oh, then you got to scroll like I did. So that's why I sent you the link in that StreamYard chat.
Is it
You
far
scroll a
down?
bit.
This one?
Yep. Click that. Now go to the next post into it.
This one? This one down
Yep,
here?
yep. Not the video though, the post. And now click the next video into that.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Rewind that. Rewind that, babe.
It skipped the queue. It was a little cold in the morning. I'm wearing a sweater and it just went right for the head. It was not interested in my arm.
Oh.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness, that's
You're the
hilarious.
parent. It's like you're the parent.
Now you're saying like, you're late. Where's breakfast?
Look at that shot right there.
He totally caught you by surprise. I even see it in your face. You're like, oh, you're
Yeah.
going there this morning, are you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, help yourself.
I don't know. I think that's such good luck and that's such a good omen right now for you. I don't know why. It's just is. Look at that.
I'll take it. That's great.
Look at that, guys. Look at that picture.
Look at that face right there.
Do you
That's a
love this?
kind,
Isn't
caring
this-
face right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys. I just think it's, it's a wild bird and it's just doing that. I can't imagine if a bird did that. I would be freaking out, right?
Yeah.
I love birds. I have a bird feeder and I get all the birds coming, woodpeckers, cardinals, blue jays. But if one landed on me, I think I would have a heart attack. I don't know what I would do. Just always wanted a bird. I've always wanted the gray, what is it called? Oh man. Gray what?
What the gray parrot?
African gray. African gray. I always wanted one. One day I'll have one.
Yeah, those birds live 80 years
Yeah.
or longer. They
Yeah,
live
probably.
just as long as human beings. So
Well-
like if you get one, it's a friend for life. So
So let's let me
blue jays, however, are not. And
Yeah,
They are a
eventually
lot-
it'll get aggressive enough. It'll just have to go and be its own bird somewhere.
they
But
can be
while
a
it's
little
still young.
aggressive.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, we're almost done here. I just want to get your opinion on
Thanks for sharing those personal videos,
Yeah, thank
Tommy.
you
I
so
appreciate that,
much.
dude.
Yeah,
Thanks,
of
man.
course.
Thanks, man.
So what is it? Is it this one? This one? This one? I don't know. what else we could talk about. What is your feeling on? Hold on, where is it? I think we talked about it privately, but we can talk.
We did.
We could talk about this a little bit. I just wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit before we went live about this. Like our chat pretty much has been filled in on this, and just wanted to know what you were kind of thinking, because we thought this was kind of sketchy, especially since like that's the first thing that's been publicly announced and confirmed about rebuilding in the strip over there. Everybody knows what that is, the G strip.
Yep.
Overseas, and this seems to be the main focus. It's not like providing food and shelter and medicine and all of that kind of crap. This seems to be the focus.
Yeah.
Let's build a soccer stadium on the bodies. Let's do it. Come on, guys. Snap, snap.
Yeah.
That's gross, man. I don't know what else to say. I was very disappointed when I saw this. So
Yeah, and you were like saying like kind of the corruption part of it. I don't know if you want us to talk about it, but
No, well, yeah. When you'd asked me earlier, my only comment. I'm not a big football or soccer person, but
Yeah.
I just had always thought UEFA, FIFA, and all of the different international leagues are all criminal enterprises that also operate an entertainment wing. Is kind of how I see it. Like
Mhm.
I'm assuming all of the games are, if not fixed as far as outcomes, everything else is set up and fixed prior to. So everyone's greased, everyone's making money.
yeah.
It just seems a little extra nasty, extra dirty to say here, we'll take 75 million. You can build a big stadium, like Chris said, on the bones. It just seems a little extra, too much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got a fan here. She just Mommy and Belle, I just caved and made an X account so I can follow the bird.
Hey, that's great. That's wonderful.
Well, you know what? Just be careful on X, okay? It's kind of crazy out there. Tom can like verify that for me.
yeah, it's the Wild West on X. So don't give any personal information to anybody ever.
Ever.
like
Just
ever.
be careful out there. Guys, be safe on X. It's kind of
It's the Wild West.
yeah, it is.
It's a good place to be, but it's
Just
the Wild
follow
West.
birds and nice things.
Yeah, look at sunsets and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
like
funny.
I kind of agree with Tommy, especially when it comes to FIFA. Sadly, because like it's literally one of the biggest sports, if not the biggest sport in the entire world, and we see corruption on so many different levels of other sports, like, basketball, football, boxing, ultimate fighting. We know all these things are rigged. Winners are chosen in advance. People get greased making the bets.
Yeah.
Like we know this, right?
It's a money making machine.
Yeah. So like we were even talking about this a little bit beforehand. As the money that's involved scales up, so does the corruption. It's just the way things are.
What
So,
do you think of that? What does everybody think of this? Lighten up the mood. Look, this is her eye doctor. I'm sorry. Like this was her eye doctor when she did this promotion when she was Miss Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just saying this is what she does now.
yeah,
This exactly. And this could be this.
tear stick.
Allegedly, she could be using a tear stick. I don't know.
Yeah. Ali stumbled across this video with her and her, I don't know what you want to call it, man.
Steve Cohen.
Her
It's
eye doctor.
Oh,
like her
I remember.
cry
I have a good
doctor,
memory.
like,
Steve Cohen. It's her eye doctor, and she was promoting him a long time ago when she was Miss Arizona here.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Okay.
this is the picture they took, but I put this here. But I think that, and many others think that, she uses this tear stick to cry, and I just think this is so bizarre because this is what she does. She does this every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a weird video that you found.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then I'm gonna play this. I'm just lighting up the mood, guys, because Tommy is a comedian, so he should get this.
Yeah, and this is Erica Kirk hanging out of a car.
Yeah, you've seen that, eh, Tommy?
Oh man.
This is for our YouTube fans who have not been on X to see this. This is Erica Kirk.
Man.
It's TPUSA till the wheels fall off right there.
Well, there you go, baby.
And she's mimicking what Erica Kirk, because there's a video out of her doing this. She just slightly holds her wrist up. I can't believe it.
I like how they're backing up there. That was hilarious.
She told me her ribcage hurt. She had to put a towel.
Yeah, I saw the towel there, guarding the car.
Must have been a lot of takes. She
That's
said her
good.
ribs hurt. Yeah, yeah. It's great. I did like 2 shows with her. She's amazing. She's funny. She's funny.
Love Scarecrow, Mark, friends of the show. Please
Yeah.
go support them.
Yeah.
They're fantastic people.
I think that clip's doing really good. It's like 100K or something.
Is
Really
it?
good. Yeah.
Wow.
Really good. And you
Wow.
know, sometimes it's just you don't have to say anything. It was just that.
Yeah.
She just put
Yeah.
her body.
Sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need.
Remember, so many people need zero proof to believe a lie, but need endless proof in order to accept the truth. Until we meet again.
I think Chris sent me this.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny, especially with all the, there's been a lot of back and forth between, the Fed slop narrative and people who are trying to dig into anything besides that. And that phrase is
Yeah.
something that gets thrown around a lot, right? It's like, oh, I can give you all the evidence in the world and you won't believe it, but you'll believe any nonsensical thing you get
Yeah.
told, right?
Yep.
So I just thought that was kind of funny because like both sides of the aisle have been throwing that back and forth at each other for months now. And it was so weird that I literally found that today. And I'm like, oh, well, that's random because each side thinks that's what they're doing,
Mhm.
right? And
Because obviously this happened. We talked about this a little bit. Military
yeah,
merging.
everybody knows that.
This is the U.S. master plan for Gaza. Me and Chris and Tornado Alley, a couple of researchers here.
Yeah,
in the chat.
this is what
It's a
if you want to take a look at it, Tommy, this is what the plan is for Project Sunrise, and they are working with the Board of Peace. So this is the plan. This is
Yeah.
what they want to do, right? And of course, it's Kushner's plan.
Mhm.
And
Look at all those data centers,
oh yeah,
all in brown.
yeah. Look at all that, baby.
Little data centers.
Oh yeah, let's just build it up.
But yeah,
Crazy, man.
that's for another show. But I
That's
just
wild.
it like people need to know that this is like in the works. This is happening.
Yeah, and I
Um,
just want to say, like,
And then
it's,
we got this.
it's alleged that that's the strip over there is being repopulated with Zionist elite from all over the world. Probably many from America will be there,
Mhm.
and it's interesting that that's where this new safe haven for these alleged pedos might be. And there's also rumors that a data center is going in the ballroom. So what's going to have communications to what? That seems very weird to me.
Yeah. And I had Mitch Snow on my thing last night. Apparently, this is a doorbell cam. I don't know what you think if these two people look similar.
Yeah, I talked about this on the stream the other day. I think it's clearly the same person, and I think it's really odd that the TPUSA security is going to play act as, EMTs one day with Charlie, and then the next day they're pretending to be marshals, and I wonder where we're going to see them next.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, for all you know, Tommy, when you order a pizza next time, Cutler's going to show up at your front door. Like, who knows?
I see Rick Cutler. It's on site. That guy's going to be, yeah. If I ever see Rick Cutler, I'm going to avenge Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was
That's my best defense for these guys coming after me is that I just make the aggressive threat first. I'm like, if I ever see you, and then that
Yeah.
way they at least stay out of my eye line.
yeah. And I just thought that's so wild how close those two guys look together, man.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
really
I
hard
didn't
to
think it
say.
was
It's
close.
not Dan.
I thought it was a perfect match.
Yeah. I think
Stu Peters reposted my post. I did so
The side by
Mitch
side, yeah.
sent me the picture and I kind of enhanced it. The ears here, I enhanced it. And I wanted to get the shadows and stuff. And then I took this picture here from the event. I wanted a shot where it's kind of like the same kind of angle a little bit.
Yeah,
And
so you
I'm
can get a good
going more,
comparison.
I'm
Yeah, I
going
get
more
you.
with the ears and underneath.
Yeah, I mean the nose and the scowl is really, really definitive. I mean, it looks almost like Val Kilmer-y a little bit.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, dude.
And Mitch said he turned his meta glasses on, like he touched it. He turned it on when he got there.
Yes, Mitch said that he saw that in the actual ring cam footage, that he walks up and he's going like this, almost like he's turning them on before
to confirm the action.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Kind of like how we seen when he rushed over to Charlie, knelt down, and then does that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's someone somewhere in like a situation room, and they're watching a bunch of screens, and each of those screens has a live feed from each one of those security guys' glasses, and they're watching to make sure that it goes down smooth.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I've
freaking, it's scary, crazy. It's a whole bunch of things.
Don't you think that's what's happening? I mean, at least maybe after the fact, if not live, certainly after the fact. But I think, why not live? They all stream, these glasses stream. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
He's doing it for someone.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're calling Ben Shapiro within the first 4 minutes of the shot ringing out. So why would I wouldn't believe the glasses aren't connected. Just seems the next logical thing.
Yeah, and the weird thing is when you look at the cameras that are being presented in the preliminary hearing, it says 4 turning point cameras is the video they've got.
Yeah.
So that means there was other camera. I think Turning Point had more than 4 cameras there. I'm not 100% sure. I thought they did. But that means they're only taking those 4. And that means none of the meta glasses are being taken.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah. And they're literally the things that if we're recording, would have seen Charlie die. They would have seen the last moments
Unless
of
he
his
turned it
life.
off, because he does do something when he goes behind the table. He does touch his glasses.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're thinking he turned them on. That's what we're.
He could have turned them off, babe.
Well, that's true. But then that's true. He could have. See, this is the way I look at that, right? If he goes over and he's turning them off, then that tells me it's the official narrative. Tyler shot him. There's no reason to cover it up. Everybody needs to shut up and believe that's what it is. Because he turned it off because he was concerned for his friend who was dying, which means all the conspiracy stuff is strictly conspiracy and means nothing. Now, if you believe that he turned them on, well, then it's apples and oranges. Whatever you believe, you can make that situation believe anything, right?
Yeah.
So if you believe there's something nefarious behind what's going on, then he recorded it for somebody to view. Most of us, well, a lot of the people in the circles we run with don't believe the official narrative. So we look at things and scrutinize things a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we tend to believe that he turned them on.
And I don't know if everybody. Go ahead.
I have a pair of these meta glasses.
You do?
It's a different style. I got the Oakley kind, but you can see the lens right there in the middle. And you can see there are a series of buttons on the inside and on the top side. So having played with these a little bit, I'm more of the belief that they were recording, where they walk as soon as they when they're there and they're all fumbling with I think that's when they're beginning recording.
Okay.
I don't think they're standing around recording Q&A with college kids on their glasses. That's not an event that they now need to be watching and recording. The same reason I don't see any of them take their glasses off. As soon as a shot rings out and Charlie goes down, he doesn't go down on his own. They push him to the ground.
Yep.
So no one can see anything, and they all keep their glasses on, which you'd think like maybe not one of them thought or just throws them off or loses them, or what? Maybe it's just super convenient to see through a super dark tint. I don't see that. I don't see why. Like it just occurs to me, like, wouldn't you toss your hat and your glasses and everything and immediately get to work so you can
I don't know.
clear...
I just assumed they were recording the whole thing. Like the whole
I don't think a security would have a reason to have like, hey, I need my point of view and you have your point of view of us standing around a hot day while a kid asks Charlie about
it was only 20, to be fair, it was only 23 minutes.
But right, so these and mine are just the consumer's version, but they record for like up to 2 minutes at a time.
Okay.
So you're not sitting there recording like a sentinel, just watching from what my eyes can see later. You have them, they're on, they're waiting in standby mode. So if you give it an auditory cue, if you're like, Meta, record, then they'll go, ba-doop, and start recording. or you can trigger it with the pinch and you'll turn it on. But either way, you see the light on the inside as it's like telling you it's either on or not. No one is sitting there watching through their glasses recording for 20 minutes. That I don't think is happening. I think as soon as it happens, they all click and they maybe have to hold the button to have it go where it's pre-programmed to begin streaming. And I think that's where we see you've got a bunch of dudes wearing special glasses. They all pinch them and then they're all getting to work. That is why I think someone's sitting in a situation room watching from each of their point of view to keep everyone else accountable and to have everyone else on the hook for it. Because that's the other thing. How do you know these security guys will never talk?
That's true.
They're recorded.
They got it
killing
recorded.
Charlie, all of them, with all their hands getting bloody. And then on the trip in the car, all of them are recorded with one another, all of their different points of view, watching the other people load them into the car. So one can't go, Brian can't go and say something mistakenly on a podcast because you have the other three now saying, if you're found out, we're found out. And someone above us has video of all of us doing it. So that's why they're all acting panicked. That's why they're all acting like they're U.S. Marshals going to people's houses, pretending to be spooks, because they themselves have to enforce this or it's their ass.
Yeah. So do you think only Dan Flood was recording, or do you think...
Oh, no way. There's no point for just one guy. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there and steal that answer. I'll just shut up. But
I'm not a metaglass expert.
No, neither am I. I just got a pair.
There is one video I put out with the military metaglasses, which are even better, that, stream and record like for an hour. So I'm just wondering, they were only there for 23 minutes. I just thought that, all of them were record. I know he touched it. I know he touched it, but in order to get everything, if I was behind the scenes and I was a big guy, I want to see everything. I want to see everything from that moment. It's like we did the tech table rundown on our live stream. All the gear. They didn't bring all the gear. They didn't bring the gear that they promoted in August for the Prove Me Wrong. I know what you're going to say, babe. I know what you're going to say.
I know.
They ghettoed it down.
Well, no, they brought everything they were supposed to bring. There was just the gear that they showed was for two different things. One set of gear is for the Prove Me Wrong events. The other set of gear was for the big indoor events in the evening.
Yeah.
They did switch gear. They went from analog to digital. That was their big switch over. And apparently the audio rig they have is supposed to be supplying a new streaming service so that they could stream from the rig.
They were live streaming somewhere. And we asked that on a space. I don't know if you were on that space, Tommy, but Blake Neff was there, and we asked him, were you live streaming? I don't know if we were live streaming. He doesn't know anything.
But that was the whole point. Like it's come out that it was mentioned that, this is special. That's why Terrell had to be there. The reason why he had to be there is because they switched from analog to digital, and it's been said a few times that they were trying to stream this live. And the reason they wanted to do that is because they wanted somebody cutting clips in real time, so that they could put out the clips of Charlie faster.
Yeah.
Like Charlie was always wanting things to get out faster, more clips, more media, which that's actually completely true. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie loved putting out clips as fast as he could, as many as he could. So that would make sense and follow. However, going to what you were just saying, Tommy, about the metaglasses. So if they were using that rig to stream live, I'm pretty sure technology exists where that could be coordinated so that whoever is streaming could then get a selection of feeds. You can get the metaglasses feeds, you can get the TPUSA camera feeds, or if it's a certain select special individual, you can get all of them. You could see every single thing in real time from the moment he walked in to the moment they pulled him out of the SUV at the hospital. And depending on who you were, you would have been able to watch that whole thing from beginning to end.
I'll bring up this really quickly, since we're talking about meta glasses, because I just don't worry, guys. I can do it quickly.
That's on your YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And share. I'm usually quick at finding stuff, Tommy. So I'm just gonna. I just want to show you something and tell me what you think about this.
Right now,
do you remember me sharing that with you, babe?
Yeah, it was a while ago. Right now, for some reason today, we've been getting like a little bit of a lag, and we're getting like the spinning wheel of the death for a few moments on every. Oh, it's weird. It's like it's never really happened, and we stream in the same spot all the time, so I don't know why.
What is wrong with this? Here, I'll take this off. Share screen again. I'll try again.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Let's see if it works now.
Come on, baby. Come on. There we go.
I don't know. Did it go?
There
it is. Okay.
Yes, there it is. It is there.
All right. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. It's one of my shorts. It's this one. May 2025. Meta and Rivet. See if I can
I don't understand is if he lifted his head up like that, how could the autopsy?
What happened? How come it didn't play the one I wanted? This is the one I want.
Actually, don't click the words, click the actual guy, maybe.
The Army just awarded a company $200 million to make super goggles.
you guys
to make
see
these.
that?
They're AI glasses, but they didn't use this company, Meta, who makes.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, it's up. I just the iPad that I'm using is a couple seconds behind.
But can everybody hear it? Okay. All right.
Audio good, chat, for this? Just give us a thumbs up when Sally starts playing.
Okay, so this guy's going to explain it.
The Army just awarded a company $200 million to make super goggles, to make these. They're AI glasses, but they didn't use this company, Meta, who makes these for Ray-Ban. They chose a startup company. Let's talk about it. So the company is called Rivet, and they're a startup tech company that has been awarded the $200 million to design these new AI glasses. They're calling them essentially computers on your face that give soldiers a battlefield intelligence edge. And all this is going down as part of the Soldier-Borne Mission Command Program. And I know I said they're not having Meta do these things because they're already established. They're really good at AI stuff, but in fact they are. They're giving them a chance. So Meta is going to be a part of a joint team with Anduril. They're going to design a prototype for consideration under a similar contract. I like this, and I also don't like it. I like it because it forces us to reach out to different companies, see maybe they have a different look, maybe they have a different perspective, new technology. But also on the flip side, Meta's been doing this a while. These are really helpful in my non-DoD opinion. So Dave Mara, the CEO of Rivet, says that this is actually going to be a little different than Meta glasses are right now. He sees this as a way to connect the soldiers to all of the rest of the soldiers. So from the soldiers to the maintainers to the supply people to the logistics professionals, he basically sees this as a giant web of communication. Look, at the end of the day, I think it's cool that the Army is trying to put new technology in the hands of our soldiers or on their faces. Follow me, silly goose.
And that's that. So I don't know if this has any correlation, but
we just thought that was interesting.
In May 2025, yeah.
Yeah, and
this was posted by this guy, Viva Lavargas, September 8th, 2025.
And he was talking. When did he say this was? May or April?
The Army just shelled out a $200 million for super goggles.
Yeah, but when did he say, babe? Was it
May? It was May 2025. Okay. But he posted this on his Instagram September 8th. Yeah, just thought it was interesting to share. Maybe nobody has seen it. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And
what do you think about that? Does that surprise you at all?
No, I think the timing, it seems odd for sure, just the posts. But yeah, that's been a tech that they've been working on for a while, and it was really evident that that's what they were using on September 10th for sure.
Because that, like, if they were using that new tech, then they could have been recording everything. And I thought it was interesting how he said that it was not just supposed to be just glasses, but it was supposed to be a communication hub. And that's what really kind of opened my mind to that.
Yeah,
there was people watching all this go down. Like there was that, and Ali and also and I did the work on the tech table, so we knew they had streaming capability.
Mm-hmm.
Then we stumbled across this, and then we were like, it's 100% possible people watched every single second of that, right up to, like I said previously, right up until they took Charlie, pulled him out of the SUV and brought him into the hospital. And even into the hospital, technically, that could have all been on camera for all we know.
Yeah. But I think that's it. Like unless you have something else you want to talk about, Tommy, but like do you think he's alive?
I don't know. I don't really think so. I mean, there's a possibility, but I don't. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to have it with you. But
Yeah.
in short, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me either, but I'm just like sometimes I'm 50-50. It depends on the day
Yeah.
when
Like
new
we
information comes. But yeah.
we generally think he's gone, but like Ali just said, sometimes you're watching a stream or something, and somebody says that one thing which kind of jogs your mind a little bit, and you're like, "All right, well, okay, that kind of makes sense." Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. And then you got to think to yourself, well, how probable is it then, right? Like, what are the chances this could happen? Like, sure, it could happen, but is this a 1 in 10 thing, or is this a 1 in a million thing?
I think it's just like my idea is just he knew they were gonna, take him out, and he decided to fake it, but they found out and they killed him anyways. But I could be wrong because I don't know why he's wearing a white shirt. I don't know why he would go there. I don't understand why his wife would let him go with all this stuff that's happening. Just doesn't make sense why he even entered that place. There was drones. He said there was 11 Israeli cell phones there. There's just everybody acted like faking gay that after, like when the shot rang out.
Yeah.
Everybody just it was all like staged to me. But yeah, I don't know either, Tommy. Like you said, it's another conversation and it's a rabbit hole. So
yeah, I will say, for all the different behavior that we saw from different people, if it was an intel op top down, they're going to get Charlie out because he thinks it's too hot and he doesn't want to do the job anymore. And maybe the national security way to like exfil a guy like that is to fake his own death. Like, if that's the case, then it would explain why they're selling the lie so stupidly and poorly, and why his own friends don't really seem to care that he's dead, and that Candace has a meeting with Erica Kirk, and after that meeting, it's all just about the trial and the evidence and the details and the minutia. And if he were really alive, it would explain why his wife doesn't seem to care that he's dead. All these things that were like, that would be the thing that would explain all the other stuff away. But for the fact that Israel really was turning against him and vice versa, and BB is like the first to cheer that he's been, it's like there's too much doubt in that for me to think with that much hope.
Yeah. I kind of agree. Like, there's a lot of evidence just to point that he just became a liability, I guess. You know what I mean? And
possibly.
like I'm open-minded to considering that potentially he's still alive, but I'm going to need to see some more information, I guess, to persuade me to think that. But
I don't think we're going to get that, babe.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that either. And the facts are going to get are the facts that we find, because let's be real, we haven't been getting a lot of that from the government. It's been this massive crowdsourced worldwide investigation that's been providing the evidence and the facts so far. So we just got to keep doing it, because it seems like that's the only way we're really going to get any kind of answers.
But thank you so much for coming and sharing your opinions and your free speech and your thoughts and this open dialogue. I love it. I want to collab with more people and talk. So I think we all should be doing that. And
well, I appreciate the invite, and thank you for letting me come over and share a couple thoughts and hear yours. It's been nice to meet with you and to chat it out with you. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks for coming, and we appreciate your opinions and views. And we believe that everybody's opinions and views are valuable, and they all have weight, and they all hold answers.
And I want you, all my Flamingo Mafias, to go invade his YouTube right now and go follow him. Please. Thank you so much for showing up today. And hopefully we can do something in the future. And this is your YouTube, and that is your X account, I believe. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, thank you both. I appreciate it.
Till next time, we are going to go. We are done for tonight, guys. I might do a members live. I'm not sure. Probably tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I will see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye for now.
Christ is king.
Bye.